Hello everyone. Hi. Hope you can see me and hear me clearly. Welcome Nisha. Are you able to see me and hear me? If you can, just give me a thumbs up so that we can go ahead with today's session. We can go ahead with today's session if you can see me and hear me clearly. Welcome Shreya. Hi. Hope you can see me and hear me. Hi Abhishek. Good to see you here. Hi Jemima. Welcome Nan. Good to see you guys here. So, today's session is essentially based upon the CAT 2020 paper. What we will be doing is we will be discussing questions which were asked in the LRDI section, slot 1. Now, for those of you who were not there in yesterday's class, part 1 was conducted yesterday. The recording of that will be available on my profile. That was from 8 to 9 yesterday. And today's session will also be roughly a 1 hour session. Maybe I'll try to, wrap it up in a little bit lesser than that. I'll try to wrap it up in a little bit lesser than that if possible. Abhishek, quant, yes, I believe quant slot 1 is done. Quant slot 1 is done. That is why I'm discussing LRDI slot 1. Even for slot 1, part 1, which I discussed yesterday, which had the easy and the medium questions. Easy and the medium questions. In part 2, I will today be discussing the difficult questions. I will today be discussing the difficult questions. These questions, in my personal opinion, are not something, that is expected a lot of students will solve in the exam. But still, some of you should be able to solve it. And the reason why I'm taking this class, the reason why I'm discussing this is not because it is easy or difficult or if it should have been done in the exam or it shouldn't have been done in the exam. It is so that I can explain my thought process as to how I would solve these questions. That's the agenda. So CAT 2020 LRDI slot 1. For those of you who might be attending my class for the first time, my name is Ravi Handa. I've done my studies from IIT Kharagpur. I've been teaching for CAT for close to 15 years now. I've taught at IMS, Time Career Launcher, all the leading CAT coaching institutes. And I've taught 20,000 plus students online via my own website. I used to run online courses on handakafunda.com. Very recently, I started taking classes on an academy as well. That being said, I am currently taking classes on YouTube. I'm taking classes such as on the Unacademy app, which are the free classes. I'm also taking classes via the Plus courses. If you want to know which class is happening when, please join us in our Telegram group, that is CAT Prep Online. Please join us in our Telegram group, CAT Prep Online. That will give you an idea of which class is happening when. Which class is happening when. Going ahead, Unacademy offers you two kinds of courses, the Plus courses and the Iconic courses. The Plus course has live classes just like this one, but they're structured, as in you do this, then you do this, then you do this. They're given in a proper format. The Iconic course provides you personalized guidance as well. If you're planning to register for any of these courses, please remember to use the coupon code HANDA. Please remember to use the coupon code HANDA. That gets you a 10% discount on all the courses which are offered. These are some of the top learners from previous years. If you study hard, if you perform well, you can join them as well. Abhishek, so detailed courses, I'm not very sure. What I'm planning to do is maybe start a course on arithmetic in a week's time. In case there is any particular, for example, a course on fast calculations is going on right now, which is at 11:30 p.m. So that is going on right now at 11:30 p.m. In case there is any particular course that you want me to take or any particular time slot you want me to take that course in, please email your request on Ravi Handa ravihanda@gmail.com. Please email your requests on ravihanda@gmail.com. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I have it on email, I'm going to discuss it with the Unacademy team and ensure that you get that course and ensure you get it in the time slot that you want. So I'll need an email for that. I'd request you to please do that. Now, these are some of the questions that we discussed yesterday. Which were, the easy ones. Let me quickly go ahead and jump to the more difficult questions. So, what we did yesterday, in case you do not know, LRDI had a total of 24 questions in CAT 2020. 24 questions in CAT 2020. These 24 questions were further divided into 5 sets. And from these 5 sets, first 3 sets had 4 questions each. These 3 sets which had 4 questions each, I discussed in the part 1, which was the class that I conducted yesterday. And the others, which were 6 and 6, this was part 2. This is what I'll be conducting and covering these 2 sets today. That's the agenda. So please have a look at this. The information which is given to you. The information which is given to you is actually on 2 slides, 1 and 2. Let me know once you have gone through the information on the first slide so that I can discuss the information on the second slide with you. So please go through this and let me know once you are done. Just type next or okay or done so that I can go to the next slide. I'll try and help you understand this. There are 4 institutes, A, B, C, D. They had contract with 4 vendors, W, X, Y, Z, during the 10 calendar years from 2010 to 2019. The contracts were either multi-year contracts running for several consecutive years or single-year contracts. So basically what is happening is something like this. So there were contracts in 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So you had contracts which were stretching for a very long period. Let me just assign it a little bit better so that there is more space. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So this is a period of what? 1, 2, 3, 11 years. 11 years. Then, till 2019, not till 2020. So 10-year contracts. No institute had more than 1 contract with the same vendor. However, in a calendar year, an institute may have had contracts with multiple vendors. So it can repeat in the same year. It is known that over the decade, the institute got into 2 contracts with 2 of these vendors. So every institute had 2 contracts. So A, B, C, D will have 2 contracts, and every vendor also got contracts with 2 institutes. So every vendor needs to have 2 contracts. Every institute needs to have 2 contracts. And these contracts could be multiple year-long contracts. So basically what I'm saying is A will have 2 contracts, B will have 2 contracts, C will have 2 contracts, D will have 2 contracts, W will have 2 contracts. So it's possible that W has with B and C, A has with, if W has B and C, then A has with X and Y. There are multiple arrangements which are possible, which you'll need to find out, which you'll need to figure out what is happening in them. These are the years. Then the following facts are also known. Z had a contract in every year, so at least one, which means the total number of contracts that Z had, total number of years that Z had a contract was more than 10, because at least one in each of them, at least one in each year. So my total has to be more than 10. I don't know how much. X had one or more contract in every year up to 2015. So X had from 10 to 2015. So X definitely had contracts at least for 6 years. It could be 6 or more. It could be 6 or more. Are you guys okay with this? Y had in 2010 and 19. So Y had in 10 and 19. So Y is at least 2. Y is at least 2. W had only in 2012. W had only in 2012. So W also we know has to be at least 2. All of them we were given got into 2 contracts. So W also has 2 contracts. So at least twice W will need to appear. Now, when I try and put this information in, it's given to me Z is every year. So Z is every year. I don't know who Z has a contract with. But Z comes every year. Who Z has a contract with? I don't know. X comes from 10 to 15. So X is at least 6, or X comes at least once every year. So X is all of these. Then Y is in 2010 and 19. So Y is here in 2010 and Y is here in 2019. Good evening, Shayak. W has only in 2012. So if W has only in 2012, W will need at least 2 contracts. So W will need at least 2 contracts. So these are the contracts for W. Are you guys okay? Now it is possible, once again I like to remind you that these are the minimum values. It is possible that there is an extra Y here. It is possible that there is an extra X here. All those possibilities are here. What I have mapped till now is the minimum value. Are you guys okay till here? Please give me a thumbs up if you're okay with what I've done till here. That's good to see. If there is anything that you're confused about till now, please use the comment section to let me know, because until and unless you understand this, you will not get the rest of the question. I don't see anyone typing or saying anything, so I will go ahead. Please try and fill the rest of the information. So I've utilized the first 3 conditions. The next condition is there were 5 contracts in 2012. So there needs to be one more contract in 2012. So let me make some space for that. So WW and one more contract in 2012. I don't know who that is. Cannot be W. It cannot be W because W is already come twice. Can it be Y? So it cannot be W. Can it be Y? No, because Y is only in 10 and 19. So it cannot be Y also. So it has to be either Z or X. I don't know which one. It has to be either Z or X. Okay? I'll keep that in mind. There were exactly 4 multi-year contracts. B had a 7-year contract. So let me use a different color for this. So B had a 7-year contract, D had a 4-year contract, A and C had a 3-year contract each. A had a 3-year contract, C had a 3-year contract, and all others were one single year contracts. So A, B, C, D, each one of them had a 1-year contract. Now, what is the total number of contracts that the colleges had? So these are flat values. In here we had plus plus. So 7 and 4, 11 and 3, 14 and 3, 17 and 4, 21. We have 20 here already. We have 20 here already. That means there is one repetition which needs to happen. Which is that repetition? This particular is the repetition. This particular is the repetition. Now comes my question. Where exactly will this be X or will this be Z? That is what I need to figure out. So Institute C had one or more contracts in 2012 but did not have any contract in 2011. So C needs to have a contract in 2012. Okay, so this C needs to have, so either it might be a single year contract, or it might be a multiple year contract, but it has to have in 2012. Institute B and D have exactly one contract in 2012. D did not have any contract in 2010. Okay, so which means that this D4 is not the one which is in 2010. Now, how will you match this? This B7, the only one who can take care of a 7-year contract, is Z. So it is possible that this is the 7-year contract and this is the 3-year contract, because if you make it 7 plus 4, then your repetition comes here. So this is not possible. This is one possibility that I have made. Now, who could be this 3-year contract with? So the 7-year contract is with B. The 3-year contract can happen with A. Can it happen with C? C did not have a contract in 2011. So C cannot come here. So this has to be A. Now, where can be C's other contract? 2011 cannot be included. So the only possibility for C is this. Now what do I do? Let me try this 4-year contract for D. Do I have any space for this 4-year contract for D? I don't. Where will I put this? There is no space for having this 4-year contract. That means everything that we have assumed is incorrect. So let me remove this. So the B 7-year contract that B was having cannot be in the end. It has to be in the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the contract for B. Now there is this 3-year contract. Could be A, could be C, no restrictions. Could be A, could be C. Both A can come anywhere, C can come anywhere, no restrictions. So it could be either of them. Now I have D and one more. And this is where it gets interesting. I need a 4-year contract for D. I need a 4-year contract for D. How do I get that? The only way I can get a 4-year contract for D and another 3-year contract. Suppose I'm randomly taking, suppose this is A. So now I need a 4-year and a 3-year contract. The only way I can make that happen is if I make repeat X repetition here, I make X repetition here, and this is a 3-year contract and this is a 4-year contract. That's the only way I can accommodate two of them. That's the only way I can accommodate two of them. I need 7 years. I need 7 years. B is not the one who is repeating. So sorry, Z is not the one who is repeating. That much I have guaranteed. That means X has to be the one which repeats. X has to be the one which repeats. So if X is the one which is repeating, there will be a 3-year contract for X, which is what I have shown here, and there will be a 4-year contract at the top. So this is my 3-year contract and this is my 4-year contract. Hi Babesh. So my 3-year contract and 4-year contract. I know 4-year contract is with D. What about the 3-year contract? Can you tell me information about this 3-year contract of X will be with whom? This 3-year contract of Z will be with whom? Can you give me that information? The contract of Z will be with whom for 3 years and the contract of X will be with whom for 3 years. Z is C. Why do you say that, Shreya? You are right, but what is your logic? What is your idea? What is your concept behind it? Why are you saying that Z will be with C and X will be with A? What's your logic behind it? C wasn't in 2011. Absolutely correct. So this has to be A. Now, so I have B, A, B, C, D. I have one contract for all of them. That is taken care of. I have one contract for all of them. That is taken care of. Now I need these single year contracts. Now I need these single year contracts. Let's see if there are any conditions for that. C had one or more contracts in 2012. So I need one contract for C in 2012. The only possibility is this. Let me use a different color for this so 1 year contract, WC, at least one 1 year contract. So this is for C. Then B and D had exactly one contract in 2012. So B has a contract in 2012, D has a contract in 2012. This one cannot be C because C already 2 contracts are taken care of. B and D are taken care of. The only possibility which is left for W is now A. For W is now A because C both contracts are taken. B and D can have only one contract in 2012 which is already taken care of. The only possibility left is A. Now one of these Y's is B and one of these Y's is D. Can you tell me which year is YB and which year is YD? Can you tell me which year is YB and which year is YD? You can tell me that based upon the last line which says Institute D did not have any contract in 2010. So D cannot come here. So this has to be YB and this has to be YD. So these are my contracts. Long question, difficult question, not something that I honestly expect students to do in the exam. But I hope you have understood this mapping. If you have understood it, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions for this, please use the chat window. Please use the chat window if there is any value that you are not okay with. C wasn't in 2011. That is correct, Shreya. Any questions, any doubts you have for this? Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and solve the questions which are given to me. Now what I'm going to do is to try and solve the questions which are given to me. I'm assuming everyone is okay with this. So I will go ahead and jump to the questions. First question. In which of the following years there were 2 or more contracts? Okay. So 2 or more contracts. My options are 2015, 2016, 17, 18. So 15, 16, 17, 18. 16 is a 1 contract. 16 is 1 contract. 17 is 1 contract. 18 is 1 contract. 15 has 2 contracts, ZB and XD. So 15 has 2 contracts, ZB and XD. So that is why my answer will be option A. Which of the following is true? D had a contract with X in 2011. Let's check. D and X is 12 to 15. So this is 12 to 15. So no. B had a contract with Y in 2019. No. BY was in 2010. BY was in 2010. So this is also false. B had a contract with Z in 2017. So once again, no. BZ is 10 to 16. BZ is 2010 to 16. So this is also false. D had a contract with Y in 2019. Yes, YD is there in 2019, making option D as the correct answer here. Making option D as the correct answer here. How about the next one? In how many years during this period was there only 1 contract? Okay. So 10 has multiple, Z has multiple, 12 has multiple, 13, 14, 15 have multiple, 19 have multiple. So in 2016, 17 and 18, these were the 3 years when there were a single only contract. So this will be option A. What can be best concluded about the number of contracts in 2010? In 2010, we have BZ, YB, XA. So we have BZ, YB and XA. We have exactly 3 contracts in this particular year. We have exactly 3 contracts in this particular year. Then, which institutes had multiple contracts during the same year? Okay. So A, B, B. In 2010, B is repeating. In 2010, B has 2 contracts, one with Z and the other one with Y. So BZ and BY. Then which one else? So this is B, A, C, B, D. A has multiple contracts in 2012. AX and AW. AX and AW in 2012. Anyone else? I don't think so. We don't have that many repeat contracts later. They were just with B and D. So there are BZ and BY in 2010, AX and AW in 2012. So A and B are the ones which have multiple contracts during the same year. Which institutes and vendors had more than 1 contracts in any year? More than 1 contracts in any year. So A and B from an institute perspective, A and B from an institute perspective, and from the other perspective, W is repeating and X is repeating. So A and B and W and X are the ones which are repeating, making option C as my answer here. So long set, difficult set. I know it was on the harder side. That's why I'm discussing it in part 2. The easier sets, The easier sets I had discussed in the previous class yesterday. So I would recommend that if you are intimidated by this, if you are worried by this, that boss, this was too complex, don't worry. Not something that you should have attempted in the exam, not something that you should have attempted in the exam. The idea behind this particular class is so that I can explain, go to the basics of the questions and explain the kind of stuff which gets asked in the exam. Hi Utkarsh, hi Ish, Priya, Ronak. Good to see you guys joining. Good to see you guys joining. Let me remind you that there are new batches which are starting from 24th and 28th. You can register for them, you can enroll for them. When you enroll, please remember to use the coupon code HANDA. That gets you a 10% discount on all the courses. And now we will go ahead for the last set which appeared in CAT 2020. For the last set which appeared in CAT 2020, once again, long set, the information is given in 3 slides. The long set information is given in 3 slides. Please go through this information. Let me know when you want me to go to the next slide. Just type next and I'll take you to the next slide. Just type next and I'll take you to the next slide. Hi Priyanshu, good to see you here. Long set, difficult set. Please type next or something so that I can take the information to the next slide. What is given to me here is, in a certain board exam, students were to appear for exam in 5 subjects: English, Hindi, Math, Science and Social Science. So there are 5 subjects. Due to a certain emergency situation, in few of the exams could not be conducted for some students. So some students missed 1 exam, some missed 2 exams. Nobody missed more than 2 exams. Board adopted the following policy: if a student appeared in all 5 exams, marks will be awarded in each of the exams in whatever they score. So if they appear in all 5, whatever marks they get, those are the marks they get. No extra marks, grace marks or anything like that. But if they missed 1 exam, then the average will then the score will be whatever he got in the top 3. Then the score will be whatever he got in the top 3. If you miss 2 exams, then the average will then the scores will be whatever you got in the top 2. Marks awarded in each of these exams will be the average of the best 2 that you appeared for. Now try and solve this. Try to make sense of all the data and all the information which is given to you. Now try and solve this and try to make sense of all the information and all the data which is given to you. Hi Prachi. So have a look at someone's score. Let's say have a look at Alva's score. What can you derive from it? Alva is 80, 75, 70, 75, 60. What information can you derive from it? What can you infer from it? We are also given that each one of them either missed one exam or they missed two exams. So when they missed two exams, average of the top two will be their score. When they miss one exam, then the average of the top three will be their score. So what do you do now? Can you look at Alva's score and tell me anything that you can from this? What all possibilities are there? Looking at Alva's score, what all possibilities are there? Can you give me any idea, any information based upon what all you know till now? Hi Esha, hi Aniket. See, let us look at these scores for Alva, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a decreasing order. So we have 80, 75, 75. And 70, 60. Now, can this be the score of the exam that they have missed? No, because 60 is not the average of anything. 60 is not the average of anything. So this cannot be the score which is missed. This cannot be the exam which is missed. Can 80 be the average of anything else? No, 80 can also not be the average of anything else. 70, yes, 70 is the average of 80 and 60. 70 is the average of 80 and 60, but 80 and 60 are not the top two scores. Or, so this will not work. But, this is the interesting part. If she has missed only one exam, so let's say she has missed this exam, then what is the average of the top three? 80 plus 75 plus 70 by 3, which is 225 by 3, which is 75. So it is possible that she has missed this exam. It is also possible that she has missed this exam. Another possibility is that she has missed both of these exams. See, because when you miss two exams, your score is average of the top two. So 80 plus 70 by 2, which is 75. So yes, it is indeed possible that she has missed both of these exams. Both these possibilities are there. Are you guys okay with these two possibilities? Please give me a thumbs up if you are okay with both of these possibilities. See, if they miss one exam, look at this condition. That if they miss one exam, then the marks awarded will be the average of the best three. So these, I wrote down all these scores. I assume that they missed this exam, then average of 80, 75, 70 was 75. I assumed that they missed this exam, then average was 80, 75, 70 and 75. So this was possible. It was also possible that they missed two exams, because when you miss two exams, then the average of the top two is taken. So that was 80 plus 70 by 2 or 75. Everyone has missed at least one. So for Alva, looking at these scores of 75 and 75, I can say that she has missed either Hindi or science or both. She has missed either Hindi or science or both. Now, just to avoid confusion, I am going to represent social science by the letter X. I am going to represent social science by the letter X. English I will represent with E. Hindi I will represent with H, mathematics I will represent with M, and science I will represent with S. That's the agenda for this. Very similarly, now can you tell me what is happening with Bithi? Now can you tell me what is happening with Bithi? Which exams can she miss? Which exams has she missed? She can miss one of them or she can miss two of them. Every student has missed either one or two of them. So what about B? Can you tell me which exams have they missed? Which exams has B missed? B for Bithi. Last two. Let's check. Let's check. Now, if they miss only one, science, then it will be 90 plus 80 plus 85 by 3, which is 85. So if she can miss science, she can also mix social science. So this can be science or social science or both. All these possibilities are there. What about Carl? What about Carl? Carl is maths and social science. Let's check. If they miss math, then average of top 3, 80 plus 100 plus 90. Yes. So this could be math or this could be social science or both. So math, social science or both. How about Deep? Hindi and science by the exact same logic. Deep can miss both. How about Isha? What can you tell me about Isha? English and social science. Okay. So English, if she misses 80 and 95 and 60, let me check that. So 80 and 60 is 140. 140 and 95 is 235. 235 by 3. So yes, Isha can miss that. And social science. No, the average of social science is it's not matching. Average of top 3. 80, 85 and 95. 85 and 95 is 180. 180 plus 80 is 260. 260 by 3 would have been 66.66. No, that is not possible. So what will be for Isha? So what will it be for Isha? Isha guaranteed has to, now for Isha, now I am dead sure, since everyone should miss at least one, Isha definitely missed Hindi. Isha definitely missed Hindi because that is the average of the top 3. Isha definitely missed, no, top 3, 95, I'm sorry, the average of the top 3 is not 85. 95 plus 80 plus 60, it will be 80. 95 plus 85, let me see if I'm making a calculation mistake somewhere. Let me see if 80 or 85 what is possible. So if it is 95 plus 85 plus 60 by 3, so this is 180, so 240 by 3, so this is 80, that is possible. So Isha can actually miss English. And how about the other possibility, missing Hindi? 95 plus 80 plus 60 by 3. So this is 140. 140 plus 95 is 235. 235 is not even divisible by 3. 235 is not even divisible by 3. So the only possibility for Isha is that she misses English. Deep was Hindi and science or both. So now we know for a fact that all of them need to miss something or the other. So now I have a guarantee. Now I have a guarantee that Isha has missed English. I have a guarantee that Isha has missed English. That is the only thing that I'm sure of right now. Are you guys okay with Isha's missing English? That's the possibility. What about Phony? What can Phony do? What about Phony? What can Phony do? Which one can she miss? Phony, which ones can she miss? Phony can miss English or social science. Let's check that. 88, top 3. Top 2 for 88 and 78. So 88 plus 78 divided by 2 is indeed 83. So these are the two that they can miss. So English and social science or both. English or social science or both. So these are the ones that they have to or they need to miss. Are you guys okay with all the possibilities that I've listed out? Utkarsh, Mr. Awesome, that's a nice name. Okay, let's check the next information that we have. Following facts are known. 4 of these students appeared in each of the exams: English, Hindi, Science and Social Science. That means 2 students missed English, 2 students missed Hindi, 2 students missed Science and 2 students missed Social Science. So which ones are those 2? English is being missed by 2 students. So those have to be the only possibility. Who are people who are missing English are Isha and Phony. Hindi has to be missed by 2 people. So guaranteed Deep is missing Hindi. Guaranteed Alva is missing Hindi. Then science should be missed by 2 people. Now that I'm not sure of. Now science could be missed by these 3, any of the 3. I don't know which 2. So I need to decide 2 out of these 3 will miss science. Which 2? I don't know. 2 out of these 3 will miss science. Which 2? I don't know. And social science is also missed by 2 of them. So 2 out of these 3 will miss social science. 2 out of these 3 will miss social science. I don't know which 2. Do you guys agree with this arrangement? That definitely Alva will miss Hindi, definitely Deep will miss Hindi, definitely Isha will miss English, definitely Phony will miss English. 2 of the 3 will miss science and 2 of these 3 will miss social science. Let's look at the next condition. The student who missed math did not miss any other exam. So Carl is the one who missed math. Carl is the one who missed math. He did not miss any other exam. So that means Carl did not miss science. That means Carl did not miss science. And if Carl did not miss social science. If Carl did not miss social science, which are the 2 for social science? Now I know Beatty must be the one who has missed social science and Phony is the other one who has missed social science. So I figured out the people who have missed English. I figured out the people who have missed Hindi. I figured out the people who have missed math. I figured out the people who have missed social science. Science is still confusing me. Science is still confusing me. Science is still confusing me. Could be, Alva, could be Beatty, could be T. Then one of the students who missed Hindi did not miss any other exam. The other student who missed Hindi also missed science. Okay. So 1 out of Alva and D. Let me write this here. Alva or D. So science exam was missed either by Alva or by D. And definitely it was missed by BT. Definitely it was missed by BT. That much I am sure of. So the only part that I am not sure of, I am completely sure about what BT did, what Carl did, what Isha did, what Phony did. I am sure about 4 people. I'm sure about BT, I'm sure about Carl, I'm sure about Isha, I'm sure about Phony. In papers, I'm sure about English, I'm sure about Hindi, I'm sure about math, I'm sure about social science. The only part that I'm not sure about is one paper of science has been missed by either A or D. I don't know who missed that. I don't know who missed that. Everything else I'm sure of. Are you guys okay till here? Do you agree with me that everything else is clear? 4 people are clear, 4 exams are clear. Only confusion is science was missed by A or D. That's good to see. Let's look at the questions now. Who among the following did not appear for math? So math was Carl. Math was Carl. Who among the following did not appear for English? English is Isha and Phony, these two. English is Isha and Phony, so option C. What best can be said about the students who did not appear for Hindi? Hindi is, I'm sure, A and D. Hindi is A and D, which is given to me as option D. And then what can be said about science? Science I'm not sure of. Science, I know that BT has missed science. This part I'm sure, but the other person is either Alva or D. So BT and 1 out of Alva and D. So this is A. And finally, we have 2 more questions. Yeah, so as I was saying, in case for those of you who joined us a little bit late, there were, where did I explain that? Yeah, so there were 24 questions which appeared in the CAT 20 exam. There were 24 questions which appeared in the CAT 20 exam. There were 3 sets of 4 questions each, which I discussed, and these were the easy ones. These were the easy ones which I discussed in part 1 of the class that I took yesterday, that is 8 to 9 Thursday. What was the date? Today is Friday, 23rd, so on 22nd. The 2 sets which were the harder sets, that's what I am discussing today. And this was the pattern for CAT 2020 where you had, very easy. See, this makes your job a little bit easier. A set which has more questions is bound to be typically more difficult. So picking the easy set or picking the right set becomes a little bit easier in case of if the paper pattern is like CAT 20. Prior to this, from CAT 2015 to 2019, it was a little bit harder because then you had questions in LRDI which were 32 questions, and all 32 questions used to be 4 sets. So there used to be 8 sets of 4 questions each. So it wasn't that simple back then. However, now it has become a little bit easier. Then, going back to question numbers 5 and 6, these are fill in the blank questions. For those of you who might not know, in objective questions, if you mark the answer correctly, you get a +3. If you mark it incorrectly, you get a -1. On the other hand, in a fill in the blanks question, if you mark it correctly, you get a +3 and you get a 0 if you mark it incorrectly. Then, how many of these students missed exactly 1 exam? So definitely Carl missed exactly 1 exam, that much I know. And then what about Alva and D? One of them has missed Hindi, definitely. One of them has missed Hindi, definitely. The other one has missed 2. So out of Alva or the, one of them has missed Hindi only, the other one has missed Hindi and science. So one of them is 1, one of them is 2. So definitely, how many students missed exactly one exam? 2 of them missed exactly one exam. One person is Carl, the other person is Alva or D. So if the question was, who are the 2 people who missed the exactly one exam, it will be cannot be determined. I don't know who those people are. However, based upon this, I can say that there were 2 people. I don't know which 2. For how many students we can be definite about which exams they missed? Other than Alva and Deep, about the other remaining 4 students, we can be sure about the exams that they missed. About the other 4 students, we can be sure about the exams that they missed. So that's pretty much it for today. I guess that's pretty much it for today. Let me just tell you, every Sunday there is a scholarship test that is conducted by Unacademy. For those of you who are not enrolled, you can unlock that test by using the coupon code HANDA. You can unlock that test by using the coupon code HANDA. And that's pretty much it for today. Couple of things. I'm taking a doubt session on Sunday at 9 a.m. So if there are any doubts, and not limited to LR, but any doubts in Quant or LR or DI, you can email them to me on ravihanda@gmail.com. I will discuss those in the Sunday's class on 9 a.m. So you can send your doubts to me. And I'm taking 3 special classes tomorrow. All 3 of them are on log. There will be 2 classes in Hindi. In the first half. I think 11 o'clock. Let me just check the schedule. Just give me 1 second. I have it on my phone. Yeah. So the classes on log on Hindi are from 11 to 12 and 12:30 to 1:30. So I'm doing this in breaks. And the same class in English will be conducted from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The same class will be conducted in English from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if you're comfortable with Hindi, join us during the day with a small break. And if you're not comfortable with Hindi, then you can switch it to English from 6 to 8. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And remember to send me any doubts that you have on ravihanda@gmail.com. That's it for today. Bye, Preet. I'm sorry you joined us a little late. Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you, Mr. Awesome. Good to see you here. Bye, guys.